Hey,
Bestie.
besties. I'm Michelle,
I'm not.
and this is The Pop, your weekly pop culture podcast.
Yeah.
And welcome back to week 2 of the Kardashian Chaos. And Chaos.
California.
If you haven't already heard part 1, you got to go back now and check it out before we get into this week's episode.
You're gonna want to. You're definitely gonna want to because there's so much backstory on this and the background. There's a lot of stuff that I think if you didn't know about the Kardashians, you'd be very intrigued by it.
Yeah, it also brings a lot of context and not necessarily sympathy, but I think context really is the best word of like, now I understand why they would say the things that they do or do the things that they do, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
And there's like, they're trending already. So like, there's stuff we could talk about them right now, but we got to get through everything else we haven't yet.
I was going to say, like, speaking of them today, or no, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but they dropped the real trailer for their show.
Yeah.
It looks good. Like, I can't lie. It looks like more of the same, and they eat it up.
They said it was going to be much more like documentary style, which looks good. But I'm just interested because they also did that whole interview that's now gone viral when they're like, it's very different from the show. And I'm like, how? And they're like, because viewers were not interested in the business side. I'm like, no one ever fucking said that. I don't know where you guys got this fake idea from, but okay.
Like, I feel like people are more interested in the business aspect of the Kardashians more so than the family now because we know the family. You just want to know what makes them so much money and how they do it.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot to that in the sense of like they, as their family, are the business. Like think of like Courtney. Courtney wants to act like Poosh is making all this money. Who is subscribed to Poosh? Who?
It's a money laundering scheme.
Girl, we know the check is from the show. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing the show because all you do is talk shit about the show.
She's literally said that she's never wanted to work.
So,
which, like, I get it, but like, girl, no.
But again, honestly, I think if you're looking for a little bit more context, like even in that interview when they talk about jobs, go back and listen to their first episode. I think that first episode actually does provide a lot of context to why the whole family is the way that they are, and they would say and answer that question the way that they do.
I agree. Not us both.
Yeah. I know we kind of like just jumped straight fucking into this episode. We didn't take a second to recap or anything.
No.
We're here. No. If you want to recap, my advice is go back and listen to last week's episode.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really else that we can recommend. Like, you could look into it yourself, but like, we already have it out for you.
Go ahead.
So like, why would you not just take advantage of it? You know?
So now we got to jump into, not today, but a few years back instead of 10 years back.
Yeah, and listen, all I'm saying is, what a way to start an episode. We ended last week off when they got married, right?
Yeah, wink on the Kimye wedding.
Yes, and that was May 2015. Or no, May 2014, my bad. May 2015, they announced that they are pregnant. And then December 2015, they're like, we had our baby, St. West. Yay! I wish he was Southwest, but he's not.
He should have been Easton. Do you
know how cool that would have been?
He should have been Easton. And Easton is like a normal name. Like you could get away with it without being like, oh, it's like a celebrity name, but it's still cool. It should have been Easton. I will die on that hill. It should have been Easton.
I forgot which... Was it Conan? It was either Conan or Jay Leno, I think, that told them like, oh, you have to do Northwest. And they were like, no, we want it. And then they were like, wait, that's a cool name. Like North itself is a cool name. And I was like, you're not like taking the joke of Northwest. You're just being like, no, North is cool. North is a cool name.
That is exactly how they process that. Yep.
So Kim Kanye.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna jump straight into this. Yeah. Okay. So April 2016, there was a little bit of rumors that there was marital problems swirling around. Everyone's like, uh-oh, Kanye might have some problems. And then July comes around. You know what happened in July?
The 4th of July?
No, I made that bitch famous. Fiasco. Taylor Swift. Yeah. Yeah.
The phone call. I remember that summer of that phone call. I remember standing like in front of my mom, be like, no, you don't understand, because legally in California and then legally in New York. And so because of like, I was obsessed with this.
And this was like, if you were into pop culture, this was almost like the best scenario, right?
Oh yeah.
Because it was all of these big household names in one little claim, one little squabble, right? But this was then turning into a legal fight. So it wasn't just like it was like funny, it was turning into a serious thing.
This was shit that like broke the internet. This was shit that like broke friend groups. This changed people. And I'm saying that in an exaggerated way, but in reality, think of like the Taylor Swift squad, the way that just fell apart.
It diminished.
Just
completely.
Do you remember Zendaya liking stuff on Twitter because of this?
Yes.
Like, it just, we haven't even talked about it. I'm so sorry that I'm already like jumping into like the details of this scenario. But this moment, really, if you're like, wow, Kardashians, no, this was a game changer. Almost to the point that I have to think, is Kim like this level of like intelligence that she planned every minute of this out as promotion?
For promotion and like marketing tactics.
Like looking back, I'm like, she is a businesswoman. Would it be shocking that she's like, I'll take the lawsuit, I don't care. It's my name in the news. That's money in my bank.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Basically, if you don't know any context to this, essentially Kanye has the song Famous, and it's like
featuring Rihanna.
Featuring Rihanna.
That's a whole other level.
This is iconic. So the song is about how he's famous and whatnot. But there's a lyric where he says, I'd have sex with Taylor, or me and Taylor might still have sex. I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that bitch famous. And that is what imploded pop culture in the summer of 2016. That line itself. Not even like adding in the factors of the video, which if you've seen the video or you've heard about it, it's basically Kanye laying in a bed with all of these naked celebrities like Donald Trump, Taylor Swift. I don't remember who else,
there.
Like,
Chris Brown and Rihanna are next to each other.
Long line of people. Like, it's insane. But Taylor Swift got pissed because she said that she never gave him permission to use that lyric when Kanye was like, yeah, you did. I asked you, and you said absolutely, sure, I'd love to. So that happened, and then Kim was like, guys, I have some footage I think you might want to see. And it's her saying, yeah, you can use my name. She explained later, the thing is, this was like the internet turned their back on Taylor Swift so fast.
Yeah. This is the snake emoji, like, renaissance, because Kim was using the snake emoji. So then Taylor's comments got flooded with that emoji, which then in turn would inspire the Reputation era.
Yeah. This literally inspired her whole album.
Yeah.
And era. But basically, she was saying that she was pissed that she was involved in it, and like he never asked to write about her. And he was saying, yes, you did. You told me that I could. So then after this long line of like maybe a month, 2 months of just constant like feuding, she came out and said that she took issue with the line, I made that bitch famous. She was mad that she was being called a bitch. It wasn't about saying that Kanye was going to have sex with her or whatever. It was just that line. But then in March 2020, just a fast little like jump ahead, the video of them having the conversation got leaked on Twitter.
Yeah, Kim leaked the video.
Yeah, well, it got anonymously done. She leaked a piece of it.
Uh-huh.
But that was like back in 2016. This was in March 2020 with the whole thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, Kim stood by Kanye this whole time. And she said, like, I'm not going to let someone else change the narrative.
That is a common theme with these two.
The narrative comment changed everything.
Which, again, is Kim plotting this whole thing. Because she talks about a narrative. Pop culture is a narrative. You are driving the story and giving it to the people. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
How does Kim and how does Taylor and how do Kanye, as they all have said and talked about the narrative, would I be shocked to find out this was all not necessarily planned out, but spoken about
Yeah.
beforehand? No, I would not. I would not.
Because for the both of them, I mean, Taylor Swift just came out of her 1989 era, which is her most successful era to date.
Mm-hmm.
And Kanye was in his Life of Pablo era, which, as we know, his Yeezus, literally the start of Yeezus, that album in itself, like, that's one of his most iconic and, like, most profitable eras that he's ever been through.
Mm-hmm.
So for the both of them, I can see them both being like, yeah, you know what? Let's just, like, we'll both profit off of this. We can both make some money. And I'm not surprised if they would.
Just say it.
Well, moving on to October 2016. This is a couple months later. This is when Kim went through her very awful robbery in Paris. If you don't remember, October 2nd, 2016, she got literally held at gunpoint and was almost murdered.
It is
for her jewelry.
She goes into detail on this on the show as well as she was on oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the host of it. I just had his name in my mouth. And my next guest is the name of the show, but I'm forgetting the host, and it's pissing me off because I know who it is. And she goes in even more detail about the robbery, and just listening to it, it's such a horrendous, like, traumatic story. Again, where you talked about Kim has been through things where you wouldn't wish her life on your worst enemy.
Yeah.
Just
it's awful.
I can't even imagine what that even could feel like. It's insane to me.
Yeah. Because she was there with Courtney and I believe they're friends, and Kanye was over in New York, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was in New York performing, and their children are in a different nation. And so she's the one who came home early, and her security guard is out with her sister. And this guy robbed her and almost killed her. He literally was threatening her, and he robbed the diamond. Yeah, it was multiple. It wasn't just one. And they acted as if they were people working at the hotel, like people that were security around the room. Like, they had this full setup, and it's so scary to think about it. But they robbed her of a diamond ring worth an estimated $4.9 million, as well as 2 diamond Cartier bracelets, a golden diamond Jacob necklace, Lorraine Schwartz diamond earrings, a gold Rolex, and other items. So it was a giant robbery. Like, they went big time. They knew. I mean, obviously, if it was Kim Kardashian, and I believe it was, I don't know if it was Fashion Week, but it was some big.
I think it was Fashion Week. Right? I believe it was. I think it was Paris Fashion Week.
That's what I thought. It was like something big with a lot of.
Like, they knew that she would have a lot with her.
Yeah, exactly. But so that happened, and I remember we have someone we went to high school with. I think was at the festival that Kanye was performing at, and it's mid-song, someone runs out and grabs him and tells him, he literally just goes like, I have to leave, and he just sprints off stage, and he flew to Paris to get Kim. And she stopped doing appearances, and she stayed off social media for a really long time after that, which I remember that was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously this is Kim Kardashian, the biggest influencer of our time.
She is social media.
She is the influencer. She created influencer.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, especially back in 2016, when we were in like the beauty influencer era, that's such a big deal for her to be gone,
I didn't even realize it was 2016. For some reason in my head it feels like it was like 2018.
16.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So a month later, November 2016, I don't know if you remember this, but Kanye was hospitalized due to exhaustion and canceled his whole tour. Mm-hmm. And this is his biggest tour, like, to date. It was the St. Pablo tour. And this was so iconic. I don't know if you remember, but like what did the shirts say? It was like all the shirts, the Yeezus shirts, and like the merch for.
Oh, I know. Oh gosh, I can see it like in my head.
Like, was it ultralight beam? All of that stuff. Like, it said like.
It was that design that like James Charles stole.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Like that font. As soon as Kanye did it, like everyone started using it. But
fun fact about that tour, Taylor Swift's line, "Your tilted stage," is in reference to that tour set where Kanye had a floating stage that tilted over the audience.
Oh, that makes sense. But
yeah, she's like, I don't like your games. I don't like your tilted stage. And I was like,
oh,
little play on words, because that can mean other thing. Whatever.
So basically, a source told Us Weekly Kim's robbery put a huge strain on their marriage. Even though they flew home like right away afterwards, she still obviously was going through it. She flew home from wherever she was to be with Kanye. He was released from the hospital a week later, and sources told People that the health crisis had taken a toll. Quote, Kanye and Kim have had a few stressful months. It's been a tense time, but Kim is happy he's getting help. So we already have some like marital problem rumors swirling. Then we have all these really like kind of detrimental events happen. So obviously they're not going to be doing the best.
Yeah.
But then 6 months later, in June 2017, rumors about pregnancy start swirling around, or surrogacy with pregnancy. So she had been diagnosed. So I think we talked about this previously in the last episode. She was diagnosed with a condition called placenta accreta, and doctors told Kim basically don't have a kid.
Yeah.
Like you can die if you have another child. Which, if you know anything about her pregnancies or you watch the show or anything, she really was open about how much she struggled when she was pregnant, and what it did to her body. So I can only imagine, obviously, if you have the supplies and the connections to have a surrogate, you should have one.
Yeah. Also imagine, like, I'm guessing the time she was told that, like, don't have another baby, you could die. She wants a huge family. So just like timeline of like the domino effect, like she wants a big family and is told like if you carry another child, you could die. Probably soon after is when the Taylor drama is happening. A bit after that is the robbery. A bit after that is Kanye's episode, and it's like domino after domino after domino and punch after punch. As much as like these two can, even if you think like I also think that they do probably work really well together in the sense of like friendship, in the sense that they like go off of each other. After so many things, it's not going to work anymore. Like you can still have a healthy relationship. Not saying they do, but I'm saying you could maintain that and not be in a romantic relationship after all these things that they've gone through.
Yeah. No matter whether you have like a romantic relationship or platonic, whatever, family, anything, when you go through that much stress, it's obviously going to strain it.
Trauma bonding is not always good bonding.
No.
Trauma bonding.
I've always said trauma bonding is never good. Okay.
It does not always result in good relationships.
No. I tell you that much. I don't think it does. Then 6 months later, January 2018, Chicago was born. So the rumors were true. There was a baby. Her name, Chicago West.
Chicago West is a very cute name.
It is really cute.
They're all cute names.
She was born. Like, everyone was like, what the fuck kind of name is Chicago?
Chicago.
Who names their child Chicago?
It's a city that's exciting. It's a city.
Actually, I'm going to Chicago in a week. Chicago West, that's for you. And then a couple months later after that, in May of 2018, this is when things start getting a little sticky for Kanye. A little sticky. This is when he said on an episode of TMZ Live that slavery was a choice.
Have you ever seen that? I was watching that clip recently. The way he says it is so funny because he stops as if everyone's gonna be like, oh shit. Oh, it is so funny because he goes, I think it's something like, 400 years in slavery. That kind of sounds like a choice to me. And the host of TMZ go, oh, no. Like you feel everyone go, oh, fuck, why did he just say that loud? Why did he just fucking say that live on our fucking show?
That was bad, man. I know that he also, like, publicly, after he said that he was scared that Kim was going to leave him. Like, he was telling the public, like, Kim's going to leave me. I said that slavery is a choice, and now,
And I'm not, okay, I don't want to be, like, playing devil's advocate, but I will say, like, Kanye's whole conversation he was having, like, he was having this conversation where you almost feel like, I can almost get what he's trying to say. But then he says something like choice, and you're like, whoa, woo, everything just got thrown off Kanye. So, like,
Yeah.
I think I talked about last week how Nick Cannon talked about Kanye, how he seems like a person that, I don't know if I talked about this, but I'm going to say it now. That Nick Cannon has talked about how he's known Kanye, and Kanye always felt like the person that, like, can't figure out how to communicate.
Yes.
Yeah. And, like, I think that interview, if you watch it, you can feel what Nick Cannon is trying to say. You can feel that, like, Kanye's trying to say something, but he can't. And as the interview goes on, you can feel how frustrated he's getting that he can't figure out how to say what he wants to say.
Yeah.
Which leads
like he has an idea in his head, but it's never going to be communicated properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of stuff on Kanye's behalf, you know? That seems like a big problem is communication.
Yeah.
And the way that he translates things, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, he said, quote, when you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
Yeah. Oh God, I hate that I had that quote memorized in the back of my head. I don't even know why. Some things have just been stuck there.
It clicked. He made, obviously he was, you know, criticized by the masses because everyone's like, Kanye, what the fuck? What are you talking about?
That's a quote from the TMZ show.
Yeah, Kanye, what the fuck? And he made a song on, is it Ye? Is that what it's called? I believe that's the album. It has like the mountains on it on the cover.
No, oh wait, I thought I changed the name to like I'm bipolar and it's great.
Oh, yes, that's the album. But he made a song called Wouldn't Leave, and it's about Kim. And the lyrics say, slavery a choice, they said, how yay. Just imagine if they caught me on a wild day. Now I'm on 50 blogs getting 50 calls. My wife called and screamed and say, we about to lose it all. Had to calm her down because she couldn't breathe. Told her she could leave me now, but she wouldn't leave. All I'm saying is, listen, Kanye is a great lyricist. I'm sorry.
Bitch, I just remembered Pete Davidson went to the listening party for that album.
Yeah.
The second you said it, all of a sudden, like, the picture of him and Ariana Grande at the listening party popped in my head, and I was like...
And you know where that is?
Yeah.
It's literally in our hometown.
Yeah.
In a fucking mountain. The dots
that was another one of those, like, things that just got stuck in my brain.
Yeah. You're like, uh-huh.
It's like, that's a Raven, like the
like, yeah. All I'm saying is, the lyrics are kind of like awesome.
No, like we'll get into it, but I was like reading some of the recent stuff, and I was like, oh shit, oh yeah, damn,
yeah. Basically, a source was saying, quote, there was a moment where I felt like after TMZ, maybe a week after that, I felt like the energy levels were low, and I called different family members and were asking, you know, was Kim thinking about leaving me after TMZ? So that was a real conversation. Or he said that to the New York Times. Sorry, not a source, but he said that himself. Which obviously we know she didn't leave him, but
yet.
Bum, 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 the main word is yet.
Yeah.
Okay. May 2019, Song was born. They have their last song. Which congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say about the name, because I guess I've kind of talked about every name thus far. Other than, like, these names have such a Kanye theme to them. That's all I'm going to say.
I feel like it's much more like Kim was catering to Kanye. And you know, like, there's a lot of times where, like, when kids are born, there's one parent who's like, no, I need one of my kids to be named this. Or, like, I want my kids to be named something along the lines of this. Or, like, along an idea of this. And the other parent's just like, yeah, okay. Cool. It's not like a dual-ended, like, hey, I like this name. Well, I like this name. This is so obviously like him being like, I like this. And Kim's like, okay.
Yeah, it also just feels like, to me, people can tell me I'm wrong. I'm not a mother. I don't know.
I'm a mother.
But I would just think the person, now I do know the last 2 children Kim did not birth, but that doesn't, I guess it matters a little bit, what I'm about to say. But, like, when a mother goes through pregnancy, that, like, she tends to get what she wants in name-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it always stereotypically leans on her to make the decision, or like when she's like finally doing skin to skin, all those things. And for some reason, it just feels, I have no proof, it feels like if I'm making up the scenario that Kanye felt like he didn't get enough attention and they had to like lean towards him, like, look, the baby's named after your hometown. Look, the baby's named after like saint and psalm, because like when Psalm was born, Kanye was going through his like religion renaissance.
Yeah, which I have to say, I'm not religious. I have never been religious. That is some of Kanye's best work. The gospel album?
Yeah.
Wow.
I also want to say one other thing about the religion renaissance that ties into something we talked about last week about the makeover episode.
Okay.
When Kanye's giving Kim a makeover and whatnot. There is an episode, so May 2019, right, is what you said, is when Psalm was born? That is the same year of the Camp Met Gala, when Kim is wearing like the latex wet look.
Oh, yeah.
So what's important about that is there's a clip that was on Keep Up with the Kardashians where they talked about how Kanye didn't want Kim dressing in a very like scandalous way or to show herself, or that Met Gala look specifically, and how he's going through like a religion renaissance is probably the best phrasing I can use for it, and that he doesn't want his wife looking that. Kim, in this clip, talks about how he was the one who pushed her to dress this way, and he was the one who encouraged her to dress this way, and now it's hypocritical for him to turn and say, no, I don't want you that way anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's a really important like point in this relationship, that you can start to see everything turn a little bit, where Kim before, even with the kids' names, seems so willing to like lean on what Kanye wants and what Kanye needs, because, and I don't mean this in any offense, Kanye is the less stable of the two, versus I feel like if Kim didn't get her way, she thinks of it as like, I can handle myself. Kanye, if he didn't get away, will be more upset.
Yeah.
And you start to see that turn. It's on the show that Kim is now like, no, this is what I want, and I'm not budging on this. And she was right. That look was amazing, incredible, show-stopping.
That was one of the best that year. Let's be real. But yeah, no, that's true. It's almost like you can start to see the controlling kind of side of Kanye come out, and he's so controlling about his image, which is so interesting to me because the Kardashians are so controlling of their image, right? So for him to try and flip that and change that completely, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, and again, like, I'm theorizing about all of this. I have absolutely no evidence or proof other than like the clips and quotes.
Yeah, but like it makes sense, like it lines up.
Yeah.
You know. So also in May 2019, they ended up renewing their vows in a small ceremony with their friends and family, kids. So like
only like what, like 5 years into their marriage, they renewed their vows?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But like it's also interesting to me because it seems like there was a lot going down, you know?
Yeah.
That wasn't great. And they were like, yeah, let's just renew the vows.
Maybe they thought that would like fix it. I don't know.
I'm assuming that's probably why, but there's not much going on. January 2020, this is when Kanye gifted Kim a vintage Cartier necklace. And this isn't like a huge part of the story. This is just like something that happened that I remember went viral. She basically said in a video, if you look closely at my necklace, you can see it's from a text Kanye sent me. He took an amazing vintage Cartier gold plaque necklace and had it sketched out. The text message read, "This is your life. Married with 4 kids. Get people out of jail. Cover a boat. Go to church every week with your family. Dreams come true." End quote.
It's pretty cute.
It's pretty damn cute.
That's pretty cute.
I know, I'm like, text like that.
Damn.
Like,
I also love that, like,
Cartier.
I kind of love that he phrases, "Get people out of jail."
Literally, not
get people out of jail.
Help get people out of jail.
Get people out of jail.
People out of jail. Like,
get them, Kim.
Get them, Kim. He also then a couple months later in June tweeted that Kim was a billionaire, and Forbes said, "No, she's not."
No.
They said, no. They said she has $900 million, not the billion. What?
Get your calculator, Kanye.
Get the calculator out. He tweeted and said, "I am so proud of my beautiful wife, Kim Kardashian West, for officially becoming a billionaire. You weathered the craziest storms and now God is shining on you and our family. So blessed, this is still life. So I made you this still life. We love you so much." End quote.
Cute.
I don't understand. Again, this could just be me not getting it. But when he said, "So blessed, this is still life. So I made you this still life." I feel like that's a bit of a weird thing to say.
I guess I could try to like see. He's like, yay, we still get to live this great life, and I made it this way, is what I'm getting from it.
But again, why would you say that?
It's Kanye West.
I know, but why? Like,
because it's Kanye West.
He's like, you just became a billionaire. This is the most amazing thing, but I want you to know that I made it. Like,
does that not sound exactly like Kanye West?
It does, but it just also makes me think, why? Like, what's the point?
Most things Kanye West does makes you think, why?
Kind of,
what's the point?
Speaking of that, the next month he announced he was running for president. So that's another thing.
Why?
Why?
What's the point?
What's the point? Like, yeah. I still don't get, and I still am baffled by the fact that he ran for president. Because how the fuck did that happen?
It's America, baby. God bless America, you know?
I can't believe we had Kanye West run for president.
You know what? I feel like there's been crazier political things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Thomas Jefferson and James Madison both printed that they were hermaphrodites. So,
yeah.
Like, in comparison, like, American politics, Kardashian chaos, pretty equal. And, like...
Not comparing the two.
I would, if it wasn't, no offense, if it wasn't Kanye as president, I would have killed for Kim to be the first lady.
Can you imagine? I mean, she's already practically America's first lady.
She's the people's princess.
Sorry. Sorry, Jill Biden.
Sorry, babes.
Sorry. Kim Kardashian is America's first lady.
If you guys are the first family, they're like the second.
Yeah. They just line up that way.
Sorry.
It's just what happens. So when he tweeted and announced that he was running, Kim tweeted an American flag seemingly in support, and which is very interesting because he claimed that he was pro-life and anti-vaccine. And Kim has publicly spoken about the importance of vaccines, and she seems to be very liberal. Yeah. So completely the opposite. But there was a quote, and it says, "Kanye's family will always support him in his endeavors, but they also worry for him. The family is supportive of Kanye's plan to run for president, but they don't agree with his recent interview." So, yeah, they, you know.
They also, like publicly supported Biden.
Yeah, like, literally, they were like, "Oh, I can't wait to vote for Biden." Like, as if her husband wasn't running.
No.
But
she just was like, "I'm going to move on."
I mean, maybe, like, I get it. If he knows that she's not going to vote for him, like, I guess.
Yeah.
Again, they also are very controlling of their image, and they definitely do not want to be associated with the beliefs that they don't believe them.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they kind of have to be like, no, we're not voting for him. We're voting for Biden, I promise. Like, you know. But then that same month, that's when Kanye, at his first political rally, announced that that they were about to abort North.
Yes. This video, like, it is so clearly, I am not a mental health expert. I am not. It is, like, so clear in this video that Kanye is not in the most stable headspace.
No.
And that's not an insult, and that's not to say that, like, he is having an episode, because anybody can be in an unstable headspace. But it is so, like, the sirens are blaring, the flags are being waved.
Yeah.
Anybody can see that something does not feel right, and you feel for this man.
Like, it's heartbreaking when you watch this. Like, if anyone has watched this video, it's very, very sad, because this is personal information that we should not be knowing about. And this is a setting where he should not be sharing this. This is literally a political rally. Like, he should not be going off about this. So just think about, like, if it wasn't Kanye West, right? Imagine if this was Joe Biden or even, I don't know, Mitt Romney, like all of these different political candidates and, people. If they were to be this broken down in front of a crowd at a political rally saying this, obviously that's a giant red flag, no matter who it is, right? So I feel like it got kind of like pushed off because it's Kanye West and his history of, his public statements and everything. But this is like really concerning. And he obviously, like you said in that video, he's going through it. Like it's very, very, for lack of a better, it's heartbreaking. I feel for him, but I'm also like, why the fuck are you saying that? You cannot be saying this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't imagine like his poor family at home when this happened. Can you imagine like getting the phone call that Kanye said this in public at a political rally?
And he's in the state that he is.
He was in North Carolina. Like,
oh, I meant mentally.
Either way, yeah, he's in North Carolina.
Like, you can't get to him fast. He's clearly not in the most stable headspace. And he also disclosed private information about Kim, their child.
Yeah.
Like, probably thinks that as, like, somebody that had that child, you would never want that child to have to know.
I was going to say, imagine North finding this out. Because at the time, this is what, 2 years ago now, I think she's like 9 now, so she'd only be 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how hard you try and shield your kids from things like this, like, obviously, she's probably going to find out. And whether that be down the line or she already found out. Because kids are kids. I mean, she could go to school and some kid could have heard about it and said something, right? Imagine that poor kid finding this out.
And her mom now doesn't get to control the narrative of how her daughter has to hear that kind of information.
Yeah. It's so sad. Like, the whole scenario is just very sad. But he also said, quote, when he was at the rally, even if my wife were to divorce me after this speech, she brought North into the world even when I didn't want to. She stood up and she protected that child, end quote. And he said it after he was telling the whole crowd that his dad wanted to abort him. So
we've got some generational drama.
Yeah. After the rally, a source told people that Kim was furious that Kanye brought up their kid. Quote, Kim is shocked that Kanye spoke about North at the rally. She's furious that he shared something so private, end quote. And she went public after this video came out and said, quote, as many of you know, Kanye has bipolar disorder. Anyone who has this or has a loved one in their life who does knows how incredibly complicated and painful it is to understand. She explained that the pressures of being one, a Black artist, to the loss of his mother, which if you know anything about Kanye, even just like a little bit, his mother was everything to him. Donda was everything. And so when she passed away, that like, it broke him, essentially. Like, all the things that we know about Kanye that have been like crazy, like big, like news happened pretty much after his mom died.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of like sent him into a spiral. But she said all of that plus the pandemic has affected his mental health so much. And then she said that her family is powerless in getting him help since he's an adult, which is true. If you know anyone with bipolar disorder or any kind of mental disorder, really in general, that needs help or hospitalization, whatever, rehabilitation, bless you. It's incredibly hard once they're past the age of 18 because they have to be willing to put themselves into a facility themselves. And most of the time, the case is not that, especially in Kanye's case, because obviously he's thinking, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm just expressing how I'm feeling." But that's not normally the case. She basically finished her statement by asking for compassion and empathy from the public, and he later apologized via Twitter saying, quote, he did not cover for her like she has covered for me. I would like to apologize to my wife, Kim, for going public with something that was a private matter. To Kim, I want to say I know I hurt you. Please forgive me. Thank you for always being there for me. Quote.
I think outside of like the emotion going on, because I'm going to try to, for this little bit, avoid talking about somebody's relationship, even though I've done that now for like 2 episodes. I do think you can also see the Kardashian kind of like business controls start to unravel. Like as this is all happening, I was thinking like, you know, like when even like the Lamar and Chloe thing happened, even when like Scott going to rehab happened, it was all very like they still had control over how the media was going to tell this story. They didn't have somebody like Kanye that was just going to get on the mic and say stuff.
Yeah.
Right? They even like, again, the Lamar stuff, like there was still some element of they had it kind of contained a little bit, like they still could handle it. You can start seeing Kim's statement because she has never spoken out like this before. Yeah. Like they're starting to get to like desperate measures of like, now we have to admit that like we can't handle Kanye. Now we have to admit that we are struggling, which they haven't before. They've been like, Scott is dealing with something and now he's going to rehab and he's going to be fine. Lamar is dealing with something and he's going to rehab and he's going to be fine. Like they have been like, we can handle it. We can give this information out as we see fit in private matters, and like their spouses have understood that. Kanye is not that man. Yeah. He is the antithesis of the like Kardashian business model, which is ironic considering that he seems so perfect for it because he loves publicity.
But it's also interesting, like, that he's like the complete opposite of the way that they are, and they were like, sure. You know, because for them, everything is so like formulated and like strategized, calculated, like everything. And so for him, none of that is the case. Unless it's artistically, none of that is the case.
Even artistically, he's kind of fallen out of a calculated, normal like album release pattern of like how you release media.
Sorry. My bad. Sorry.
So like as this going on and Kanye releases stuff, you can even see that trend of he's kind of now just in sporadics, like as I feel like I do it. And the Kardashians are like, we do not do that. We do not.
Like, that is not
as we feel. We plan like birth announcements. We don't reveal information unless we are ready for it. So I think like the beginning of the end is probably a bit farther back in this, but this is like, I think the public starts to see the beginning of the end.
Yeah, and if just that video and like statements weren't enough, there were also the leaked paparazzi pictures of them fighting in the car crying that came out. So like that's obviously a whole other step because that's us seeing, not just like hearing, reading, it is seeing.
And again,
with our own eyes.
The Kardashians didn't get to control those paparazzi pictures. The Kardashians, who are famous and known for like calling their own paparazzi, are now, and I think that could even lead to like a faster divorce because they're probably like, as a family unit, like we can't keep doing this. Not just Kim on her own, but as a unit, we can't allow him to continue to do this to our business. Yeah. That's just what I think.
And that family name.
That's just what I think.
Well, later in December 2020, that's when Kim and Kanye started spending a lot of time apart. And I remember when this was going around, some people were like, no, there's no way. Like, you know, they're definitely together. And then there were some people who were like, yeah, like, guys, come on. I was one of them that was like, guys, come on. Like,
I think I was one of them. I was like, no, you guys.
They seemed like the kind of couple that would never come to an end. You
know?
Like they'd been through so much shit together that you're like, they wouldn't. But like, also like,
you guys, we all have seen what's been going on.
We're watching what's going on. But this quote was just from a source, and it says Kim is doing her thing, Kanye is doing his. She doesn't micromanage it or worry about it too much. She lets him go off and be who he is. It is what it is. End quote. So like basically, they're living separate lives at this point. He's living in Wyoming. She's living in California. You know,
which I'd like to point out before we get into some more of like this year's stuff. Kanye seemed to not have a problem being far away from his family and kids at this moment in time. Note that, people. Note it, highlight it, stick a post-it on it. Thank you.
Bookmark it.
Thanks. Just hang on to that thought. And let's
Just hang
keep
on to
going.
that belt vibes.
Keep it right there in the back of
Hang
your
on to the
head,
belt vibes.
and then we'll use it a bit later. It's Mickey going, okay, this is such a random reference about
I was like, what?
it's Mickey on the Mickey Mouse Club when he has the little tool thing going, that's a tool we can use for later. On his like Mouseketeer thingy, and they collect tools in the thingy, and they pulls it out later, and you're like, that's what we saved that tool for. Save it.
You're like, oh shit, that's what we saved it for. Oh damn. Well, I feel like that's a lot of things in this relationship. Like something will happen and you're like, save that for later.
It's me going, oh my god, and Pete Davidson was there, and then this person was here, and this, and
save that for later.
Honestly, like even thinking back to Famous featuring Rihanna, we're not even going to talk about it, but Rihanna, Calvin Harris, and Taylor Swift mix into the Famous issue.
That's a whole
this has layers. There is so much going on here. Well, I'm not even going to get into it. Just keep that in the back of your head. Think about it. Look into it.
Think about it. You really want to. I'm sure there's like video essays online. Very interesting stuff. Taylor Swift and Calvin Harris alone, that timeline alone, and then all of the songs written about him, written for him. Oh, just a very interesting timeline. I definitely suggest you look that up.
But we got to stick to this timeline. We're going into the metaverse.
Yeah. I want to put out there, we should do an episode based on all of Taylor Swift songs about other people.
And you know what? I don't think that would be a bad idea. I don't think it's sexist whatsoever that we do an episode all about Taylor Swift's exes.
No.
We should do Taylor Swift versus the world like it's Scott Pilgrim.
I love Scott Pilgrim.
Okay, but before we get to that, we do have to stick to this.
Back. Okay.
Back to Kimye.
Mm-hmm. January 2021, rumors that Kim is prepping to file for divorce started spreading, and I remember when I heard about this, I was like, "Oh fuck, it's going down. It's literally going down." Page 6 broke the news that Kim was preparing to file for divorce, noting that their split was imminent. They were reported that the reality star hired high-profile divorce attorney Laura Wasser, who previously worked with Hilary Duff, Christina Aguilera, and Angelina Jolie with Brad Pitt. So that's like high profile right there. If you think of any high profile divorce, Angelina and Brad, come on.
They are the high profile divorce.
They are the divorce. Quote, they are keeping it low key, but they are done. Adding that the couple
they
is
are done.
They are done. They explained that Ye is currently in Wyoming. Like I said, they're living separate lives. Quote, she has had enough. She told him that she wants some space to figure out her future, adding, he's okay, he's sad, but he's okay. He knows the inevitable will happen, and he knows that it's coming soon. And babes, it only took a month, because in February, she filed for divorce.
Yeah.
Literally a month.
She's like, sooner.
Yeah. Soonest.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's here.
It's here, and it's happening. She requested joint legal and physical custody of their 4 kids and said that they are committed to co-parenting together. It said that they signed a prenuptial agreement and remain on amicable terms.
So far, everything sounds good. So far.
Yeah, so far. But we jump about 6 months to August. And that's when Kanye recreates their wedding at the Donda listening party.
Now, listen.
Now,
this could easily be like an artistic thing, which
I think
in an artistic sense, I literally see nothing wrong with this. Donda is an album about, like, named after his mother, about some great tragedies in his life, and I think to him, losing Kim is a great tragedy. So it makes complete sense to me that he would want to recreate this, and if they're amicable, it makes complete sense that Kim would participate in it.
Yeah, like she went to the listening party, so she was obviously fine. She brought the kids.
And she may or may not have been the bride in the listening party.
Yeah.
In like the presentation of it.
They asked to confirm. There was no further information anywhere. Like they will not confirm, they will not deny.
I think it makes complete sense to me with those two. That makes absolutely complete sense to me.
Yeah, I can see her being like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, she'd be like, yeah, we're still friends.
Yeah.
And like, this is prettier art, and she supported him this far.
The only thing that I can think of is the poor kids being there having to watch it, being like, wait, so are mom and dad together?
They're
Are
like,
they not?
wait, what's going on?
Yeah, they're like, so is mommy?
Who's this skinny white boy in the house?
Mommy's getting. She's putting on her wedding dress for dad, but I thought they weren't together. Like these poor kids, they are young. You know, like they can't like.
Chicago's like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm living.
She went. Guess who's going Gemini? So then there was no news until October. October 1st, they were spotted leaving nobody together, which again seems fine. Mm-hmm. Seems amicable. They were with friends. I don't think it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But then October 9th rolls around. This is when Kim is on SNL. She's hosting SNL, and she jokes about the divorce. She laid into Kanye, first describing her estranged husband as, quote, the best rapper of all time.
Genius.
Okay, Kim. He's a genius. Quote, he's the richest black man in America, a talented, legit genius who gave me 4 incredible kids. So when I divorced him, you have to know it came down to just one thing. His personality.
No lies were told. Not a lie detected. She didn't say anything. And also, is it really that insulting, Kanye?
Yeah, Kanye, come on.
Get off. Relax.
A source told Page 6 that Ye was front and center in the audience during the monologue, which he listened to during rehearsals, too. The rapper criticized the show's writers for mocking his and Kim's divorce a month later. Quote, SNL making my wife say, I divorced him because they just wanted to get that bar off, and I had never seen the papers. We're not even divorced, he said on NORE and DJ EFN's Drink Champs podcast in November. He added, quote, that ain't no joke to me. My kids want their parents to stay together. I want us to be together.
I'm just going to say, the whole Taylor Swift scenario is a little ironic now, isn't it, Kanye?
Yeah.
A little ironic, if you ask me.
So ironic, no?
That's what I'm saying.
But that's all I got. And obviously we know what happened at SNL.
Yes.
We know
starting with now thinking, I wonder if he was front and center for every sketch, because you want, like, one of the first sketches of the night features Kim,
Mr. Skeet,
and Pete Davidson kissing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he was front and center for that too, but that's fine, I guess. He seemed to be okay with it. He didn't jump up and steal the mic from Taylor Swift, so interesting.
Get that thing off.
Bitch.
It's the Ice Cube. Oh, you want some string beans? Give me the fucking string beans.
So going from since SNL, are you good?
What happened to Keurig? Literally just started. It turned on out of nowhere.
Like Keurig was like, "Oh, did you want the tea? Here."
I'm like sitting here and you're like, so essentially, and I hear. I was like,
okay. Well, Keurig, you can listen to this too.
Said, okay.
An insider after the show, around like the end of October, Kim and Pete went to Not Scary Farm, and an insider was saying that they hang out in the same circle, so it's not that weird that they would be with each other somewhere, because I think they were with like other friends at the time. They kind of just hang out, and right now they're just friends hanging out.
Yeah. Also, I have to say, like, they did know each other prior.
Yeah.
Because Pete is friends with Kid Cudi. Kanye is also close with Kid Cudi. So they've literally gone to Nobu together before. That's a very famous story.
January 2019, they were all in a photo together with Timothy Chalamet for Kid Cudi's birthday. No, I don't really know why Timothy Chalamet was there.
Because he's friends with Kid Cudi.
What is Kim Cudi's circle like? That
I don't know, but I kind of like it.
What is that? What is that rotation? That
I want to be in it.
That is a nightmare rotation. Let's just say that.
No,
anyway,
that sounds like fun.
So this is where Kanye stops having fun, I'll tell you that much. Beginning of November, Kim and Pete go for like secret dinners. This is where you start to see Kim go out to New York a bit more. Mm-hmm. And all through this, nothing, like Kanye's not really saying a whole lot. Like he's kind of staying slightly silent on the matter. Mm-hmm. Do you also see at this time?
Is he dating Julia Fox yet?
Not yet. I think that's like, we're in November. I think he starts dating Julia Fox come December.
Okay.
I could be wrong. That's what I think. But in November, we start to see news come out that they're now Pete and Kim are casually dating, and Kim is like really excited. It's not serious, but they're definitely both like very giddy, very like high schooly. She's really excited. She wants to see what happens. They're texting all the time. This is when that photo of Kim and Pete came out in the matching pajama set.
Listen, they're so cute.
I know.
I like them. Like, I remember,
I can't help
when
it.
this dropped, and half of Twitter was like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? What's going on? And half of us were like, oh my God, they're kind of cute.
What is Pete Davidson's track record? It is the most insane shit I've ever fucking seen in my life.
All I have to say is he seems like a nice guy and a funny guy and pretty charismatic, and I'm pretty sure that that's probably what's got him through all this. It's probably what got him the track record.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. It's just insane to me.
It is insane when you think about it.
Back to insane. So sorry. Kanye West is talking at a Los Angeles Mission's annual Thanksgiving event where he talks about how he really wants to get Kim back. He says, we've made mistakes. I've made mistakes. I've done things publicly that were not acceptable as a husband. Reflection. He also said that he needs to be back home and he needs to be with his children as much as possible. This is the tool we're pulling out later. All of a sudden,
we're back on the wheel.
Kim is with somebody else and really happy. And now Kanye's like, I have to be home. I have to be with my children. And you're like, weird. How like when she was suffering, you didn't have to be with her. But now she's happy and you're like, I must have my children.
It's the way you're like, I have to be with my kids. I have to be on my home.
So, again, look at your little Post-it. Get a freshman. Hold on to that one again. Keep going forward.
Bookmark is back.
He also talks about his mental health, presidency. This is like, I think what you were talking about as well, where he's like, I have to get my family back together. Like, we have to be a cohesive unit again. He's trying to take accountability. Sure. Weird how you're doing it now. Interesting.
That's crunching.
No.
Okay, cool. I'm hungry. Sorry.
You're good. Yeah. So then also still more rumors. Kim's going out with Pete a bit more. They're being seen in public a bit more. They're not really hiding as much. December, Kim is accepting the Fashion Icon Award where she publicly thanks Kanye for getting her into fashion. So like you can clearly see Kim is fine.
Yeah.
Kim's like, what's up?
She's happy. She's got a boyfriend. She's getting an award.
She's like, shout out to my ex-husband. We cool. And Kanye's like, we are not cool. And she's like, no, we cool. And he's like, we are not doing well.
Cool.
She's like,
we're not cool.
Kim's like, I'm doing well. Also this time, like, more statements are coming out where Kim's like, there is absolutely no chance in hell. That's not a quote. I just said that they are getting back together. There's not a single possibility. No counseling, no effort, nothing is going to get them back together this time. They live separate lives. So she's asking to be to be legally single again. Ironically, she's not. She's definitely with Pete Davidson at this time.
Yeah.
Which I have to shout out Pete Davidson. Literally has no problem being a rebound.
I love it.
Worked out great for him.
Doesn't care. If it's attention, it's attention.
Yeah.
So.
And again, I think this is about the time when Kanye starts dating Julia Fox, who I love. Okay. Stan, hardcore Stan. Give me the merch. I love this woman.
I have nothing against her. She just gives me bad vibes. Like, there's literally nothing wrong that I know of about her, but I can't. I
just, like, I can go in and on, but icon, legend. I didn't even watch Uncut Gems. I didn't even watch that movie. I don't even know what she's like.
Her character's not cool in Uncut Gems.
It doesn't matter. She's still with Kanye at this moment, and good for her on other levels than just being with Kanye. Anyway, again, now Kim and Pete are like more serious. We're still getting on this trend of like Kim's doing really well, so now Kanye has to be with somebody. And
it's obvious.
Yeah. This is like when Kanye has that photo shoot with Julia Fox in the restaurant and it gets really weird and uncomfortable and everybody has to clap for them. That whole thing is happening, which like if I was a psychiatrist, I feel like that is scary. The weird thing going on. Strange. beginning of January 2022. It's a new year. Let's move on. Just kidding. We're Kim and Kanye. We can't do that. Julia Fox is doing an interview where she talks about her relationship with Kanye, and it was instant and organic, and I don't really know what's going on, but if this indication of the future, I'm loving the ride. No, I think it's a different interview.
Oh.
It's not the Uncut Gems. I think that's a little later in the month. But again, I just think pointing out this like instant connection very quickly, things are happening because things are now heating up with Kim and Pete if I was to compare the two relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And we can tell because at the or halfway through January, Kanye released Easy, which is a song with The Game as well, where he includes the line, "God save me from that crash, so just so I can beat Pete Davidson's ass." I kind of love that line.
That's what I mean. Like, there's things where I'm like, you should not be rapping that, but like for the camp of it, I support it.
You know what's kind of ironic is this song is very reminiscent of like old Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
And Pete Davidson once wore a hat on SNL that said, "Make Kanye 2009 again." Well, and Pete,
you did it. Pete manifested. I'll tell you what.
Kanye and Pete, king of manifestation. I'm just gonna say that.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, yeah.
Okay, and then literally the day after this, he released Easy on January 14th. January 15th is Chicago's 4th birthday. If you recall, I think our first episode this season, we broke down everything that happened with that, where Kanye went on Instagram and was like, "I was not allowed to go to my daughter's birthday party. They won't tell me where it is. They're like, he's keeping me out." And I still like will die on the hill of like, Kanye, you could just throw a party and not invite Kim. Like you also like the day before that said that you were gonna beat her boyfriend's ass. So like a lot of things were going on, Kanye. Okay. And the funniest part is he was fucking there. There's videos of him at this party.
Yeah, he ended up being there.
And I know he said that like, "Oh, Travis gave me the address, that's why I'm showing up." But then why'd you post the video? Like, so many things. Also,
like, this is a Kardashian party. If you're not supposed to be there, you will not be getting in.
And I just think of like, now I am not in Kanye's head. I don't know what he's thinking. But if I was in Kanye's shoes and I'm trying to control my narrative, why would I post that as I got the address to the party? Because now I look stupid. I'm not saying Kanye is stupid. I'm saying that like now it looks dumb that like you're complaining I couldn't go to the party, and now there's videos of you at the party. People are like, "Well, you were there." Like the whole thing, very annoying to me. Annoying.
Yeah.
But anyway, apparently Kim was also annoyed, as she should be, about the whole scenario. And this is where I forgot to mention, like a few weeks before that was the news broke that Kanye bought the house directly across the street from Kim. Which
keeps getting worse.
His reasoning was when his father and his mother got divorced, his dad moved and never saw him again. And now Kanye is like, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to buy the house across. So like, it's really easy for our kids to be with either parent and I can always be there. Pull out that tool from last fucking year when Kanye was out in Wyoming and didn't give a shit. And all of a sudden now he has to be with his kids, and now Kim is keeping him from his kids. And now he has to be the father that's with his kids 24/7. Why now, Kanye? Why now? Kanye. Yay. What changed? Could it be that you no longer have Kim in your control? Just saying.
It is.
Just saying. That Kim is now like with a new person. I feel like if Kim was single, this wouldn't be happening.
No.
It's not even about
that someone else has a connection to her. Not so much as like he probably sees it as like a possession thing, right? Someone else could threaten his possession of Kim.
Mm-hmm.
If she's single, no one can threaten the possession.
And you know what? Kim's doing really well. Kim is like going on vacation. I think her and Pete supposedly went to the Bahamas. Might be where they went. She's like, what's that thing where I think it's called soft launching, where like you like slowly introduce a product.
Mm-hmm.
She has soft launching Pete onto her Instagram. She posted a beach party with like the P emoji. Like all the stuff where you're like, Kimberly.
Kimberly.
The just continuous nudes going out that they're on dates together and that Pete's getting much closer to them. Now we get up to February, where we run into the North on TikTok issue. We've already talked about this as well if you've been listening this season, but just to recap, North and Kim have a TikTok together. Why? Because Penelope and Courtney have a TikTok together.
Yeah, and I'm sure North was like, well, Penelope can have TikTok. Why can't I have TikTok?
Yeah. So they're like, okay. So then Kanye's like screenshotting her TikToks being like, I don't want my daughter on TikTok. This is against my will. And I'm like, hold on. Against your will, Kanye. Your daughter, yeah, she's like your daughter, but she's also like a human. And she's old enough to have ideas and think of things. So like, relax.
You know what's interesting to me too is that like, obviously, I mean, social media is social media, right? Parent can say whether their kid has it or not. But as Kanye, I feel like he would be like, if my daughter wants to be artistic and express herself creatively, then she can do it if she wants to, right?
Yeah.
And like, that's exactly what TikTok is.
Kanye.
So
I also just want to say on a topic of sexism, not that like any of the boys have social media or his sons, but it's just interesting that he's so controlling of women in particular.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how he reacts as his sons grow up and they eventually get social media.
Yeah.
I can predict to you right now he will not be behaving this way when Saint gets on TikTok.
No.
When Saint gets an Instagram. This will not be the same kind of behavior. And it won't just be because of the divorce. It'll be because
I was going to say, it's probably not even like he thinks of it that way either. Like, he's not like, it's because she's a girl. It's just naturally, like subconsciously, he's probably somewhat sexist in that way, you know?
Somewhat. It's Kanye West.
Yeah. You're right.
I think him being with Kim gave him like the false illusion that he's like a very progressive person when it comes to like politics and gendered ideas, but he's not. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is like that iconic quote from Kanye. Since this is my first divorce, I need advice. Anyway, and then Kim has to make her statement where she's like, Kanye and I have already talked about this. I'm literally North's main provider, so she doesn't even have her own password to this account. She just gets to do it for fun. Chill out. And you're annoying me and embarrassing me. That's not what she said. I'm like...
North doesn't even pick what gets posted.
No.
Kim picks it.
So, relax. And Kim's like, divorce is difficult, and Kanye's obsession with trying to control and manipulate our situation so negatively and publicly is only causing further pain for all. Again, no lie was detected, and brand background, the theme of the Kardashians like to control the narrative and how information gets put out. That doesn't mean they're trying to hide information. That means they want it put out in a certain order and perceived a certain way. Not saying this is great. I'm saying this is a Kardashian trend. And Kanye is the antithesis of this. So, again, we've already gone over that whole matter, but it just is like continuously going to get worse. I think also by this point, Kanye breaks up with Julia Fox.
Wait, really?
I think.
Oh, shit.
But so like that could also lead to like a little bit more anxiety coming from Kanye.
Yeah.
You know? Also about this time, like in a few weeks later, not even a few weeks, probably a little bit later, is when Pete publicly calls Kim his girlfriend for the first time. And to Kanye writes, God, please bring our family back together. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for laughing.
Sorry, it's just like me and my girlfriend. God, please bring me back.
Oh, this is when
down bad.
beginning of February, is when Julia Fox goes on the Call Her Daddy podcast, which is the infamous Uncut Gems interview. And then they break up a little bit after that.
Yeah.
Okay, now we get Cudi and Kanye fighting.
Yes.
Because Cudi is friends with Pete Davidson, and now that the relationship with Pete and Kim is official, now Cudi is like, if Pete's public enemy number one, Cudi's number two.
I'm number two.
Timmy, you gotta run.
Timmy, fuck it.
Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
You know the TikTok audio that's like, I gotta tell you something. Go home and get the gun.
Yeah. That's how you did.
Yeah.
Go get the gun.
Go get the gun. Anyway, so like again, the whole point of this beef, why Kanye's mad that Cudi and Pete Davidson are friends.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole thing.
Which stupid.
You can't even keep track of Kanye's posts at this point. It is like his social media is falling apart. We're missing information because he just posts and delete.
Yeah. If you didn't see it when it was posted, you're never seeing it.
I can't believe that. Hold on, because it goes from the 12th is the beef with Cudi, Pete, Kanye. That happens. The 13th is Super Bowl. We've already talked about what happened on Super Bowl with Kanye. The whole, like, everything he posted just, I don't want to call it a shit show, but a bit of a shit show. He's, like, pulling Ariana Grande and Mac Miller into this mess. He's posted texts. It's a mess. He's like, Pete will never meet my children. He posted that, like, Wes also called Pete a dickhead and spread a rumor that he once sent Mac Miller explicit photos of Ariana Grande. He goes and posts the, like, my account will not be hacked. Blah, 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 blah,
it's
blah.
The picture that my account is not hacked.
So,
also, may I just say, he was doing this all with his daughter there.
And his son at fucking Super Bowl.
He took his kids to the fucking Super Bowl and was doing this while the Super Bowl was happening.
The
just
chaos
there next to the kids
of Valentine's weekend.
My God.
Oh my fucking God. Because it's not done yet. Valentine's Day is when he sends that truck to Kim that says my vision is crystal clear with K's for crystal clear, full of roses, like so crazy. My laptop had to shake for a second. Yeah, and then I think this is also around the time Kanye, like, posts on Instagram where gets text from Kim, like, very scary text messages. Kim being like, why can't you keep our stuff private? And he's like, well, I got text from my favorite person. You don't want to be excited? I got text from my favorite person. You're my favorite person in the world. Of course I'm being excited. I'm going to tell everybody. I'm like, okay, Joe from you.
Creepy as fuck.
Chill out.
Yeah. Creepy as hell.
Yeah, again, this is one of those where you're like, oh, Kanye is not doing well.
He's not taking this very well. No.
Then I don't know if it's like on purpose, but Pete Davidson joined Instagram the same day Kim unfollowed Kanye on Instagram, and she followed Pete.
Kim unfollowed Kanye? I didn't even know that.
They unfollowed each other.
I hate that, like, nowadays that's like the marker of a relationship or friendship where, like, we follow each other.
Oh, it's over. It's over for real now.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then like a week later, Pete deleted his Instagram, so that was for nothing, I guess.
He just was like, hey.
Yeah, Kanye takes this as a win for him, posting Rand skeet off the gram. And then he also posted, tell your mother I changed your name for life. Period? Question mark?
What's he gonna do? Go into his mom's house? Hey, Kanye changed my name.
He probably would. That sounds exactly something he would do. At the end of February, Kim says, I very much desire to be divorced. Kanye's put out a lot of misinformation regarding our private family matters and co-parenting on social media, which has created emotional distress. I believe that the court terminating our marital status will help Kanye accept our marital relationship is over and move forward onto a better path that will assist us in co-parenting our children. And Kanye did not show up to the hearing where Kim was pronounced legally single. This is for you, baby.
Here? No. Okay.
No.
Well, I wish I could tell him, but it's not here.
He's not here. Sorry.
He's not here, Kim.
So March 1st, Kim is officially now just Kim Kardashian. She's officially dropped the West. It's over. KKW killed.
Over.
In a bin.
Done. In a bin.
Kanye released a poem.
Dumpster.
That's what Kanye should release as album title.
Found in a dumpster?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Kanye released a poem about his divorce on Instagram 48 hours after this. First of all, I just want to say, bars. I'm going to read out just the half of it.
It's every time he makes anything, honestly, bars.
Also, if you've seen this post, if this was the album cover, I would buy it for the aesthetic. But he says divorce. Divorce is like full-blown COVID. Divorce is like your doctor don't know shit. Divorce feels like you're walking on glass. Divorce feels like you're running through a glass wall. Divorce feels like you're being bullied in the class hall. Divorce feels like you're getting beat up in the mall. Divorce feels like your hand was burned on the stove. Divorce feels like your soul is dragged over coals. Divorce feels like your grandma never got over that cold. Divorce feels like the first play of the Super Bowl and your ankle rolls. Divorce feels like the kids were snatched from your control. Divorce feels like you've been shot and the traffic is slow. Divorce feels like heavy breathing. Divorce feels like suffocating, barely breathing. Bars. Sorry. Is this going to be on the album?
I'm wondering, when's the album coming? When is it, Kanye?
He also, on this day, the video for Easy with The Game and Kanye West came out. This is the song where Kanye says, and God save me from the crash just to be Davidson's ass. In the video, it's like a claymation cartoon depicting Kanye decapitating Pete, burying him. It's a lot. And okay. So clearly this is not okay. Clearly the red flag is waving. The sirens are going.
The red flag has been fucking lifted, bitch.
Yeah, they're like
aired out. They're like,
please. I do want to say this. Kanye does also show like himself driving on a motorcycle like in the dark, which is a callback to the Bound 2 video where he has Kim and they're riding off into the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
Other thing is he also has Pete in the ground and he grows flowers over Pete.
Mm-hmm.
Which the only thing I'm saying with that is like maybe Kanye is like trying to see the good in this scenario. I'm like really trying to like not pander, but like maybe give some perspective.
Yeah.
I think like in like 20 years when we look back on this video, it's gonna be like a moment in Kanye's art.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of layers aside from being like overly graphic in your depiction of how much you hate Pete Davidson.
Just imagine being Pete Davidson for a second. Like,
I don't want to be him right now. I'll say that much.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Kanye also said art is like his therapy. Art is protected in the freedom of speech. Art inspires and simplifies the world. Art is not a proxy of any ill or harm. Any suggestion otherwise about my art is false and malintended. Well, Kanye, you did say you were going to beat Pete Davidson's ass. So,
and you did show you decapitating him and burying him. So
it is not far-fetched to think that's what you could be thinking. Obviously, Kim is pissed. Kim's like,
obviously.
I am so over this. Now, moving forward, March 11th, so this is like a little less than 2 weeks later, Kim finally posts Pete on her Instagram. The soft launch is here.
The soft launch. This is the launch.
Now, the launch did not go over well to many people because 2 days after that, leaked conversations between Kanye and Pete hit Instagram. I'm not sure if Kanye leaked these himself.
I don't know.
Or if they were leaked somehow. Because they're screenshot from Kanye's phone. So I don't know how this got out. But I'm going to do like a reenactment of these texts for you.
Okay.
So Pete says, yo, it's Skeet. Can you take a second and calm down? It's 8 a.m. It don't gotta be like this. Kim is literally the best mother I ever met. What she does for those kids is amazing, and you're so fucking lucky she's your kid's mom. I've decided I'm not gonna let you treat us this way anymore. I'm done being quiet. Grow the fuck up. To which Kanye says, and this is how I think Kanye said it, oh, you're using profanity now? Where are you right now? To Pete then responds with a photo of himself in bed saying, in bed with your wife.
In bed with your wife.
I screamed at the top of my lungs. I was like, no, this man did not just do this to Kanye.
When I saw this, I thought it was photoshopped. I fully thought it was photoshopped.
It's him like this.
Just in bed with your wife. I can't. It sounds like something
Gag.
that like Cody Cohen, Noel Miller would say as like just to be funny, but like Pete Davidson actually said it.
Gag.
You know?
Gagging.
The goop.
Gobsmacked. The audacity. To which then Kanye says, happy to see you out of the hospital and rehab. And Davidson says, same here. It's a wonders what those places do to you to get help. You should try it. And then they go on. Pete Davidson's like, yo, I want to talk to you face to face, man to man. I'm in LA. If you want to stop being such a little internet bitch boy and talk. You don't scare me, bro. You're actually so pussy and embarrassing. It's sad to watch you ruin your legacy on the daily. And then Kanye's like, meet me at church. Meet me at church. And Pete's like, no. I'll be at the Beverly Hills Hotel. We can talk and have food in my room privately, man to man. Please handle these matters privately, bro, I beg you. And then he's like, after all this, after like, I'm in bed with your wife, he's like, let me help you with your stuff. I have been through it. You don't have to feel this way. You'll be happy and at peace. Peace.
Such bullshit.
Babe, stick to an idea.
I was like, either be a bitch or don't. Like, you can't be like in bed with your wife. Please let me help you.
I want to help you. Ironic again, right after this.
I want to help you so much.
Can you please?
Like, you pick a story.
A mess. After this, Kanye doesn't answer him, so then Pete goes, you have no idea how nice I've been to you despite your actions toward me. I have stopped SNL from talking or making fun of you, which they've wanted to do for months. I have stopped stand-up comedians from doing bits about you because I don't want to cause the father of my girl's kids to look bad out there. I have your back even though you treat me like shit, and I want everything to be smooth. But if you continue to press me like you have for the past 6 months, I'm going to stop being nice. First of all, the grammar in those last few texts, Kim wrote that.
What if he wrote it in like Senate terms, like, how about this? And she's like,
apparently he was in bed next to her.
Oh, I mean, you're right.
So the first bit where he's like, pussy bitch boy, you don't scare me.
He
like
was
all that stuff.
Next to her.
Yeah, and then I feel like Kim was like, give me the fucking phone.
She was like, Pete, shut the fuck up.
I will say this last part does sound familiar to the way the Kardashians have reacted to scenarios when they're like, you don't know how good I've been. You don't know what we could do. Like, we could do all these other things. That conspiracy
time.
Our latest news, which I just had to include because I audibly laughed out loud when I read this. Kanye posted on Instagram a picture of North's backpack with a pin of Kim, a pin of like a little alien face, and then a pin of Kanye on the backpack. He captioned the photo, "This is on my daughter's backpack when I was allowed, quote unquote, to see her last week. This is why I go so hard for my family. I am wired to protect my family at all costs. As a priest of the home, don't worry, Northie, God is still alive." No periods in that whatsoever. Just putting that out there. Kim comments on this photo and says, "Please stop with this narrative. You were here just this morning picking up the kids for school."
She's like, please stop. You picked up the kids this morning, Kanye.
Yeah, he's like, I've never seen them. She's like, you picked them up today. You live across the street. Anyway, so and that annoying. Was today when we're recording this. This will come out the 15th. That comment was the 14th. So now you are as up to date as you physically can be on the Kimye drama and legacy. We've made it to today.
When will it end?
Just so much.
When?
And I think this whole dilemma, as much as it's just like internet drama and like publicity and the Kardashian shit and whatnot, you're still like, we're dealing with somebody who, two people, Pete included, have publicly talked about their mental illnesses. We're dealing with somebody, Kim, who is severely traumatized.
And has been through an abusive marriage already.
Yeah, and also Kim and Kanye, both people who have not come from nothing, I don't want to say that, but have really had to be their only believers their entire life and work for the things that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're dealing with all of that on a public level when neither of them are really in favor in the court of public opinion. They're not really liked people, so it's really easy to shit on them. and not want to hear this story and not care about them or how they're doing.
You know what's interesting to me too is I feel like Pete Davidson is also kind of one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people really dislike Pete Davidson because of his humor and, you know, obviously he's more crude, but a lot of people don't like him. And so for this group of people, it's a very interesting public opinion.
Yeah.
You know, like it's very interesting to see what people are thinking. But I think also when you find out who someone is supporting, it tells a lot about that person.
Yeah.
Very telling. You know,
there's a lot of sexism involved in this story.
Yeah.
And that's not to say Kim is always innocent, but I'm saying you've seen through pretty much their entire relationship. I haven't really seen things where Kim is at fault, or I can say like Kim was the instigator of this scenario.
Mhm.
I can see maybe Kim is a little bit more like calculated in her decision making, and calculated in the sense of she wants certain things to happen her way. But I can also see from just what's public knowledge, Kim has bent a lot and has been willing to put herself and her brand and her family through more than anyone wants to go through.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't really make Kanye like the villain of the story, because now you're villainizing somebody who is clearly going through something.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, the thing is, like, Kanye has so many issues and things that he has to work out himself that he can't blame his mental disorder for, but he also has to try and help his disorder. And from what we see, I mean, we don't know, maybe he does, but like from what we see, he has never tried to do that.
Yeah.
And so it only goes so far.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you can't blame your mental disorder for everything else happening in your life. The only reason why it's going to keep worsening is if you do not act upon it and if you don't take charge of it. Mm-hmm. And he obviously can't. He doesn't have the capacity to do that right now.
Yeah.
Which isn't fair to himself, and it's not fair to his family, to his kids, to his wife.
Yeah. And it's like, I think the most interesting part about this is the public perception of it as well. Because like there's always that, I don't think the general public can handle mental illness when it gets ugly.
Yeah.
You know, and like
they act like they can.
Yeah. And I will say, I think for the most part, the public has been very nice to Kanye.
Yeah.
Like, I think nicer than I would have expected the public to treat Kanye.
Yeah.
So you're kind of dealing with like not a yin yang, but like a balancing act of like, how do we have a conversation about this? And also how do we as a public like apply blame and fault in like a relationship that you're like, but he's not evil, but like also he's done some pretty like fucked up things, but also like he has issues that are beyond like his control, but also like he could do some more to protect, but also like this could happen, but also like this, and
yeah.
And I think
it's
like
kind of a hard silver lining to find.
Yeah. But I think like the reason that I was really happy with last week's episode and this week is the Kardashians get shit on a lot, and I think this points out everything that they've been through and why they might react to Kanye and they might react to scenarios the way that they do. And not to like put a little bit more respect on their name, but like put a little bit more respect on their name.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely like things that they've done where like, obviously like, yeah, they should be held accountable for that, right? There's many, many, many things. It's just that this is not one of them. This is like something where there's a lot of background and context to these situations, and you can't judge them blindly for it. You have to think about their backgrounds and things that have happened to them individually and as a group. Same with Kanye. It's the exact same thing. Like you have to think of that both ways, but also you can't. I was gonna be like, you can't let an abusive man win because he is somewhat abusive to her. He's literally controlling and abusing her. So he is abusive, but also I'm like, he has a whole backstory for himself. But again, that backstory does not excuse an abusive relationship. And, you know, yeah.
I think what I can take away from this is no matter how rich you are, no matter how privileged you are, life is not a movie, and there is not always a happy ending. your struggles, your addictions, your rehabs, your mental health is not a straight line. As happy and good as one relationship is, it could end and it could be the worst thing in the world, and then you could keep going.
It's like they always say money doesn't fix happiness.
Yeah.
Or solve it.
Yeah, and it's, again, not a movie. It's not going to come up with a good ending. You're not going to have a conclusion. Yeah. It's going to keep going, just like the Kardashians when they premiere April 14th on Hulu.
Not that.
This was actually just a really long ad.
This is just a really long ad. We've been paid. I'm just kidding. No, we have not. We have not. But please, 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 let us come to the premiere party or something.
Please.
Let us be press.
Please.
Let us do media. Please. For the love of God. Please. Love to do.
And while we're on that topic, I think that brings us to the end of the Kardashian chaos and the story of Kimye. For now.
Yeah. For now. Who knows? Something could happen tomorrow morning and you would have no idea.
Literally, I doubt that this story is even close to being done.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not. I have a feeling because they allude to Pete being on the show or being involved on the show. So imagine when that starts airing and everything that we're going to hear from Kanye.
And I mean, if you want to keep up and you want to be involved, other than with following them, you should probably be following the pop.
Yeah.
So
if you wanted to, our Instagram is at the pop.podcast and our TikTok is at the pop.pod. Our Instagram is the.pop.podcast. My bad. I always mess that up.
Here's the trick. Look at the picture. If it's two little white blonde girls, that's us.
If it's two little white girls, it's us.
That's the trick. Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. If you're listening to this, make sure you follow the podcast. That way you'll be up to date when we get back to some news or whatever next week's episode is going to be about.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I know that like most of the people who listen to us really like case studies. So if you'd like for us to do another case study, let us know. Because that's always fun for us too. Like we enjoy it. So
I like this.
Either way.
I feel like I'm like
did you guys know?
Putting all the little pieces together.
Yeah. Like look at the timeline. Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we will hear from you and see you online. If not, you'll get to hear from us next week for a brand new episode of The Pop.
Yep.
But until then, I'm going to do it like him. Bye, bestie.